He was able to read the defense. He was able to call that little small audible.
His throwing is much improved over the season.
I'm over here in the south side of Chicago, 35th and Damon, doing my veterans tailgate today, baby. This is all about the veterans.
Defensive line's got to get better.
We got a good tight end. That's all you got to do is play to the kid's strength.
Bears, 24-21.
Offense look good.
Glad for everybody to make it. Bear down, and hopefully I'll see everybody next week.
Bear down.
Welcome to Halas Hall Report. We're going on one of our last shows, and on the panel today we have Bear fan Dan, Woody the Bear fan, and CJ from C&G Podcast. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay.
Right.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Lions game. We got murdered last game. They put on a statement on us, 41-10.
Jesus.
We'll just go around the panel real quick on what your thoughts of the games was. We'll start with the bottom left, CJ today.
It was a disaster, man. It was a disaster, man, for real. I don't know, 41-10. I mean, I think I had the Bears scoring 13 points, and they couldn't even get to that, you know. And the fact that Justin didn't get the record, and the fact that he's going to be out today, I mean, I don't know, man. It just brings a bad taste in my mouth. But
Woody?
Well, of course, like the majority of the year, Fields had the most rushing yards on our team. But the receiving core, I believe that Cole Kmet was the highest receiver last week with 27 yards. That
Two catches.
I'm like, unbelievable. But like I said, they had to play Herbert a little bit more. He had, he averaged 6 yards per carry. So I said that was my key to get the running game and see if Herbert can come back. And, Joe Thomas was our linebacker, had the most tackles. He had 12 last week. But 41-10 against Detroit. I know Detroit's a better team this year, but losing by 31 points, unfucking called for. So, my opinion.
Dan?
There was no bright spot. I mean, Fields had a couple good runs. That was about it. I mean, you said 41-10 was unbelievable.
Yeah, we've talked about that weeks. Like, all they seem to be doing is doing quarterback design runs. Like, last game, he went 7 for 21 for 75 yards. Definitely got to work on the passing game. We all know he can run. We all know he can do his thing, but the offensive play calling's got to get him to throw the ball. That's how I feel. And yeah, Joe Thomas did his thing last week. He played a very good game for sure. Can't even really say much about the receivers. Every receiver out there, the most is 2 catches. Like, there's teams out there that has rookies that do that. And the blame's got to go on somebody. Is it Fields? Is it the play calling? Like, something's definitely got to change for sure. And I believe it's a franchise record. Records are records. Some are good, some are bad. 9 straight losses. I said it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it again today. We will not win another game. I don't see us beating the Vikings today. Got too many injuries on that injury report. We're on our 3rd and 4th cornerback. Justin Jefferson should have a heyday today. Not to mention tight end play. But since I got Brisker on there, I hate put Brisker on a negative thing, so we'll move to a positive thing on him. Top rookie sack leaders in the NFL this year. And I didn't think he'd be on the list. I knew he'd have a decent year, but to be on the sack list is pretty decent with Houston and Hutchinson on there. He's got 4. He's been playing good ball. I can't wait until he sees what he can do next year.
That's pretty impressive. Being how he's a safety and most of those guys are either defensive ends or linebackers.
Right. Don't get me wrong. They do. I mean, the blitzing guy has the advantage because you got to have your offensive pick up that blitz. But to be on that list, that's pretty impressive. The Bears went off and said this week we are going to extend St. Brown for another year. I personally like the move. It's not like a huge receiver or anything like that. There's 3 reasons why I think they signed him. 1, he's cheap. 2, he brings depth to the receiving core. And the most important one is he's a good blocker for a receiver. What do you guys think about the signing? We'll start with Dan first this time.
I like it. He's a decent wide receiver.
Woody?
I'm iffy about it. I mean, if he stays healthy, it might be a good thing. I mean, I wish he was like his brother, but I guess not. But the depth is what we need at each position. So, and he already knows the offense coming in this year, so that's the good thing. But the other good thing is that he has to stay healthy.
Right. CJ?
I definitely agree with all what you guys were saying as far as him being cheap. He definitely has to stay healthy, and I think it's a good signing. Hey, why not? I mean, he shows some pretty good flashes that he could be a solid receiver. So, yeah, we got him for next year. Let's see what we can do.
Since we're talking about receivers, we'll just talk about this for a second. We are going to have 4 receivers going in the next year. Mooney, Claypool, St. Brown, and the rookie Venice Jones. I feel like on offense, the money that we have in our receivers isn't that much. Not even $2 million for the highest receiver. So I feel like we could go get a receiver, trade, or I just looked into a Jerry Jeudy is, I believe, a free agent next year. Correct?
I gotta see.
Because when I looked on there, it was red. So I believe red, he's a free agent. But regardless if he's a free agent or not, I would personally rather see them to go get Jerry Jeudy or a T. Higgins. And the reasoning why is they're on their rookie deal. They're younger. And T. Higgins is a big receiver that we need in Chicago to take that number 1 spot. Because I don't feel like Claypool or Mooney is really a true number 1. We can use them as a number 1, but I don't feel like they're a true number 1. So if we could get one of these 4 on there, or even if they step out the box and go get D-Hop or a Mike Evans, that would definitely help our receiving core 100%. And then we could use Mooney and Claypool in the slot and switch them up to the 2 to create mismatches and stuff like that.
Now, Jerry Jeudy has another year on his rookie.
1 year, is it for 2.6? What I have?
I'm not really sure of the price, but I'm saying he's still in his rookie contract.
Okay. Gotcha. What I know we talked about this for a couple of weeks now. What is your guys' opinion on it? Because in free agency, that wide receiver is slim.
I like I said, I like T. Higgins, but to bring a top-notch receiver in, I have a feeling it's going to be like 17 to 20 million a year, and that's just my opinion about that. I think if Claypool or Harry stepped up this year to show how, like an Alshon Jeffrey, how he was big in the passing game, that they can go up and get the ball. It seems like they didn't have enough chances this year, so I think we still need to go out and get a big receiver, even though we have those 2 guys. I always liked T. Higgins. I said that weeks ago, and I think he'd fit well. With him and Kmet within the 20-yard line, the red zone, going up to get the ball. I really like T. Higgins. I really do.
Well, I like the list on the Higgins and the Jeudy is because they're not getting paid a lot this year. Next year, yeah, they're probably going to get their payday.
Plus, you got to think Cincinnati has all they got. They got Boyd, they got Chase, and they got Higgins. That's three big receivers. Plus you got Joe Burrow too. So you got a lot of players they're going to be high priced. They can't keep all of them. That's what I'm thinking about as well.
Right. CJ?
I mean, I like Higgins too, and they may just have to go and get him anyway because look, the Bears do not have a number one receiver. I mean, that's flat out period. You know, you may just have to pay the 17 or the 18 million that he's going to be worth just to get him. I mean, the kid is 23 years old, 6'4", 220 pounds, has speed. You can't, let that. If you have an opportunity to get him, go get him.
Dan?
Yeah, probably try to get Higgins.
And to add to you, CJ, yeah, like you said, go get him. If it's better than ever, now is the time. We got the draft capital, because say the Bears lose 10 straight. Franchise record, don't really matter. If the Houston Texans somehow pull out that win on the Colts, we're going to have the number one. And we could either hold on to that pick and get one of the top 2 defensive guys in the league that's coming out, or the trade value of the number 1 pick is crucial to other teams, and we could move down because I feel Poles last year, I'm not going to say hit the ball out of the park, but what he had at the beginning of last year, what he worked with the draft that he did, I thought he did a great job. 3-4 starters off that, not to mention the Jack Sanborn unrestricted.
I think if we trade down, we'll still get the player that we want.
I don't think the top 2, Carter and the other guy, I don't think they'll be in there. They'll be in the top 5.
It depends who trades up with us. And
no, you're right.
The first 2 picks are going to be quarterbacks. So we'll see.
True. But yeah, we can move on to the next need. There's a few things that I was going to save for next week to talk about, but we need to work on one side of the ball on the offensive line. Sorry, wrong one. Offensive line, we have Tevin Jenkins, Braxton Jones going into next year, Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair, Kramer, Carter, and I did one and put 75 in there, Braxton Jones twice, so my mistake.
That's all right, Mike. We appreciate your hard work anyway.
But the free agents that I was looking at, since we have the money to go get it, we need at least one offensive lineman. I feel mine out of the list between Caleb McGrady, Orlando Brown, Mike McGlinchey, Ben Powers, and Nate Davis, I prefer Mike from San Francisco. He's been playing great ball. I'm not sure if they're going to re-sign him, but if they don't re-sign him, I hope the Bears go look at this guy. It'll definitely bring depth to the line, and it could change the whole offensive line from this year to last year. What's your input on it, CJ?
Yeah, with the whole Mike situation in San Francisco, I don't think they can afford to let him go. That's the only thing. They can't afford to let that type of guy just go. And I think if they let him go, I think that's a mistake on their part.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of money to spend into next year. I'm not saying they can't do it. You know what I mean? They're going to have needs too. I mean, they got a lot of players over there. They almost try to hit that home run ball and going to get McCaffrey. They got a lot of weapons. You can't keep everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
But don't get me wrong. I believe they might re-sign him, but if they don't, I hope Poles gives them a look. Woody?
Yeah, I like Mike too. It depends on our situation. If Lucas Patrick, because Sam Musfer needs to go. I don't know how you guys feel. You know how I feel about Sam Musfer. He's fucking terrible. I mean, I'd rather have him and Vildor, just go on another team, get the hell out of here. But if we can't get Mike, maybe Orlando Brown. That'd be my second favorite out of that group. But the way San Francisco and McCaffrey, the way he's running and stuff like that, starts with the center and the offensive line. Yeah, I like to see Mike as well.
Yeah, and as you said, Sam Mustipher is a free agent at the end of this year. I don't think they're going to re-sign him.
I hope not.
Would it
I
surprise
just didn't
you?
look because I was like, I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. But yeah, I hope they don't get him. I personally would rather have him keep Leatherwood, in my opinion. But I mean that's my opinion than him because he has not did his job at
No.
all. But we're moving on to the Vikings game. I'm not sure if any Viking fans are coming on. I sent the link. Not sure if they're coming on. A lot of them actually going to the game and tailgating. But this game doesn't mean anything to the Bears. What do you guys think of the game coming up? We'll start with Dan.
They ain't gonna win. They're not gonna beat. I mean, come on. The way the defense has been playing, plus this week we got Nathan Peterman starting a quarterback. And that I just don't see us winning this game. Plus, I guess they're probably going to be starting their starters in that too. So,
Yeah, and our defensive backs, our cornerbacks are really hurt right now. Like we don't even have a starter playing. Woody?
Well, the thing about this game too is that Minnesota has something to play for, but the difference is that some of their defensive players, Zarius Smith isn't playing, Harrison Smith isn't playing, their top safety. So I think it's going to be, even though Justin Jefferson's on the other side, and we're dead last in sacks. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. I think Bears should play, like I said a couple weeks ago, don't play, there's nothing to play for, blah, blah. But I think this will be a statement game going into next year as well. So like I said, I think it's going to be closer than what people think. And I think Herbert and Montgomery are going to have a good game. You can run on Minnesota. You can run. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think.
And it's actually going to be probably the most carries we've seen out of our running backs this year.
Right.
Yep.
Dan? Anything to add?
Oh, CJ's next.
Yeah, I know, but I look like you had something to say.
Oh. You say he's about to say cat.
All right, what do you think, CJ?
Peterman, I hope he has an orthopedic bed. I hope he has a pillow. And I hope he has a Bears Snuggie. Because that's what he's going to need after this damn game. Because they're going to come after him. I mean, Minnesota is playing for that second seed. Of course, they're going to probably want to buy. They're going to probably, get all their players back. So, they're going to have something to play for. But I do expect the Bears running game to be better this week. Herbert, I expect for him to have close to 100 yards today. So, the Bears can probably put up maybe 7 to 14 points. That's as much as I'm going to give them. But Minnesota will win this game.
Not to talk about Minnesota, but a player who used to be on our team that didn't play very good, they moved him to the outside cornerback, and he's been playing good ball for them since they've had injuries on that defensive backside. Duke Shelley. I know you all remember that name.
Yeah.
Didn't play well in the nickel, but the way he's been playing for Minnesota, he's been playing good.
Plus, they got Tonga, too, from us that's been playing good on the defensive line as well.
Yep.
How you doing, Jermaine?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Oh, Jermaine, I thought you were on the Packers show.
Yeah, I had to get on these boys. I had to get on them, man. That's the thing. You know my hate for the Packers.
Hey, before you
real.
say anything, Jermaine, I watched the show. Okay, keep going.
Hey, my hate on the Packers is real, man.
And just to get clarified, me and Mike were invited on the Viking show. We just didn't go on. We were invited
to the Viking show.
The Viking show a couple days ago. So you just pop on the Packers show because I think you have some love for them.
No, I don't have no love for you. Crazy. No, don't say that. You crazy, man. You know I hate the Packers as much as I do, man.
Let's rewind a little bit before we talk about predictions and everything. David Montgomery is a free agent at the end of this year. Do you think the Bears re-sign Monty?
Yeah.
Let him go?
Yeah.
Or possible franchise tag?
Resign.
I think, Mike, you said it there too. Re-sign or franchise tag. But I think that Bears are going to give him a nice contract that we don't have to franchise tag him. I really think we re-sign him.
Me too, but if you rewind also, I said that Roquan Smith was the heart and soul of the defense, that they would build around him. I was wrong, so I'm trying to not eat my own words again.
Well, you're regaining yourself, pal, from that Roquan Smith. So
I'm still a fan, and not to talk about them, but he's brought that defense to one of the worst to one of the best in the AFC over there, just with one player. But you got the injury report today for today's game?
The whole injury report.
Yep, it's big.
Yeah. Now today, for us, Blackson, Gordon, Lewis is out for personal reason. Obviously, Fields isn't playing. Jones has a concussion, and Weatherford he has a cough. Now he has a cough to his cold, like Forrest Gump did. Now for Minnesota, their big players, Darius Smith isn't playing, Bradbury isn't playing, Harrison Smith isn't playing, and Lynch, their defensive lineman, isn't playing as well. So, like I said, they have injuries. They have real injuries. So, it might be a closer game than what people think.
We'll see what your prediction is here shortly. How close you think it's going to be.
No, I'm last.
I'm last. Reigning champion gets to pick where he goes.
No, I already picked. I already told me.
Right. Before we get predictions, we'll get to studs and duds. Who do you think's going to be the stud today, and who do you think's going to be the dud? Because we usually do the game before, but I won't start that one. Studs last week, so we'll start with Jermaine. Go ahead.
Probably going to be, since Nate's starting, Cole Kmet is probably going to have a good day today. He's kind of been like the number one receiver, even though he's a tight end. So I think Cole Kmet is probably going to be doing well today. That's pretty much my pick right now. The dud is probably going to be where it's always been, has been the D. So, but I think Cole Kmet's going to be the lone stud for the day.
That's a possibility, because if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings do have problems on covering the tight end.
Yep.
DJ, what do you think?
My stud is going to be not Cole Kmet. I'm sorry. It's going to be Khalil Herbert, and the dud is going to be the Bears' offensive line. So that's my pick. Woody, did I take something from you there?
Yeah. That's right.
So we'll go to Woody.
These guys are picking. Oh my God! All right. Well, since my stud was taken already, I think my stud's going to be, again, as last week, Joe Thomas at linebacker. I think he's going to have another big game today. And the dud, I think it's the defensive line again, because Kirk Cousins is one of the best play action passers in the league. And if we don't get to him, which I don't think we will, defensive line is going to have a problem.
Dan?
God, I think it's going to be secondary. I mean,
there's a lot to choose from.
the defense secondary stud. Maybe Montgomery plays.
They might feed him the ball. I think it's going to be more of a split carry, but you never know.
Right.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say my stud of the game. He was coming off one of his worst games as a rookie. I think Braxton Jones has a good game today. because he got murdered last week. I don't know if you guys actually watched it, but he's been playing good ball. The worst game was last week against the Lions. I think he steps it up this week. And my dud, unfortunately, is I'm kind of the opposite with Dan, where our cornerbacks are going to have a long day. That's how I feel. I think it's Kirk Cousins, 400-yard game. Hate to say it, but we're really hurting on our defensive backs. I'm not saying Brisker or Jackson, but our cornerbacks.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the standings for the predictions. We're only going to one more week. Jermaine, even though you don't hit the show, you could still give me your prediction for next year. Well, I know this year is over, but next year, if you give me your prediction every week, you'll be ruled in this too. I know I'm a game behind. Ken is actually 7-9. He actually stepped out, trying to catch up last week. You got CJ 8-8, and then you got Dan and Woody tied at 9-7.
Man, so I'd say we're doing this week, or we doing next year right now?
No, this week we do it
This
weekly,
week.
and I just tallied them up every week.
We're doing the playoff. We're doing the playoffs, Jermaine. Do you think we're going to make the playoffs? And what's our prediction?
Hell no. We didn't make the playoffs. Hell no.
What's your prediction today?
Let's see. I already put in my DraftKings stuff prior over here today, and I'm going to piggyback on just what you and CJ just said earlier. I don't see us getting 14 points, and they're saying Vikings 6.5. I've already put in both the Vikings and the points already, so I say it's going to be like a 30-14, 31-14 type of game is what I'm seeing.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give mine. Since I'm leading, chuckle to Woody.
Fuck off.
I said it weeks ago. I don't see the Bears win another game. I say they lose 10 straight and come out with a bang next year. I say we lose. We don't score very much. I see us barely getting a couple field goal attempts in. I think we lose kind of big, 24-6. Because I think by halftime, it'll be pretty much wrapped up, and it'll probably be 21-6 by halftime. They bring in their backups and start like that to finish off the game. That's what I think. We'll move to CJ.
Yeah, I told you guys earlier. I don't see these Bears team scoring no more than 14 points. I'm gonna give them 7 points, but I am gonna give Minnesota about 48. They're gonna go off today. Jefferson may get that record, that receiving record. So I expect Kirk Cousins to come out firing.
Gotcha.
48-7.
48-7. I mean, it's a possibility they could blow up for sure, especially on our secondary. You know, just depends. Just depends, really. I don't see us being in the game at all. But usually I wait for Woody or Ken to be last. I'm going to let Dan go last today. I'm going to say, Woody, you're up.
Well, Mike, I need your address. And Dan, congratulations for second place, but I'm going for it.
He's going for it.
I'm going for it. I say the Bears are going to have 150 yards rushing, maybe more. Claypool and Harry are going to be involved today. And it's going to be, I say the Bears are winning 28-27 on a Santos game-winning field goal. But then, like I said, Mike, give me your address, and Dan, congratulations on second place.
If we get 28, it's tough to get that last second field goal, but we'll go with that. Sure.
Absolutely. I didn't say it in weeks.
I can't believe you're stepping out the box. A chance to
yeah,
win. I told you last week, go all or nothing, right?
Yes.
Gotta have the ball.
And I feel bad for Dan because he had to say the secret word cat a lot of today, and he needs some wife time. And I think he needs something to hang on the wall there, right, Dano? I don't see no Bears stuff in there.
Oh, he's got some stuff. Don't let him bullshit you.
Oh, okay.
I know one thing for sure. All right, Dan. What do you think your prediction is going to be?
Screw it. 27-10 Vikings.
Okay. I was saying it would go down to a tiebreaker on the score, but since Woody's all of a sudden grew his balls, he's going to try to go for it all. So,
I can't believe you guys don't have faith, any fucking faith in your team all year. You didn't pick it. You picked against the Bears all year. You guys.
Not true. Not true. I didn't start picking against them until I realized, hey, it's over.
But yeah, I'm just going, just give him some heart at the end of the game, end of the year and stuff like that. I know we're going to lose, but like I said, that's why, Mike, I need your address. And Dan, congratulations.
That score would have been different if it wasn't for your records. Now I'm calling you out. Don't you ever call me out on here talking about, you picked against, you win against. And no. That's
but when it involves money and prizes, I try to win that prize. Now, if I eat I'll be back next week.
But Mike really wants his Gale Sayers picture back, and I feel bad.
You don't feel bad. It's a good win. And no, I've tried to get that picture numerous times. I can't find it. I can find all kinds of stuff. I just can't find that one.
Yeah, all right. You get it. You don't worry. No worries.
And it's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Even though I wasn't alive to watch him play, it's still worth something.
And next week, I will reveal the winnings either between Dan or Woody. I guess Woody's pretty much throwing in the red flags, so I'll just PM Dan as winnings.
Just one of my nuts are big, not both. Just one.
Oh man!
But yeah, the winner gets to choose one out of three items. Whichever
Mike,
one
you're going.
first.
So Mike, you're going with Dan. That's who you're going with.
Well, I mean, sounds like Woody's throwing in the white flag. He's giving it up, like. But
I'm
no,
going for it all, baby.
It'd be crazy if the Bears win, though. That'd just be unreal. But no, I'm not going with Dan. I'm not going with anybody. I'm going with myself.
I used to do that, but now I'm married. So.
True. But tonight's game, we got a couple minutes. Oh, we're a little ahead of schedule. We got a couple minutes. The big game that matters for the NFC North is the Packer-Lion game.
Oh, boy.
I believe they're waiting on the Seattle game. I thought that game would get pushed so nobody knows what their true fate is. They got to play their own fate, but unfortunately the Lions are going to know. But if the Packers basically set their destination to win, they're in. They lose, they're not.
Please.
Do you think they're going to win today?
Please, I hope they don't win. Please, I hope they don't win, man. I don't want them to win.
It's really a 50-50 because the Lions, even though their record, they've been playing good ball these last 4, 5, 6 weeks,
Well, I just hope Detroit brought their spikes today. Green Bay is, I think, favored by 5, I believe.
No, we got to PM the Vikings for that. There's the one that said they were the wrong cleats.
I know.
But from what my knowledge, I played football before. You always bring extra cleats and different cleats just in case something like that happens.
Well, I'm hoping Detroit brings their extra cleats.
It takes like this much room. You could put it in a Ziploc bag. Simple.
Right. I hope the Detroit coaching staff tells them to bring multiple spikes today. And I know Jermaine already picked the Packers to win on the show. And he would like to see them going to the playoffs.
Wait, come on. No, I didn't.
But
no, I didn't.
I unfortunately, unfortunately,
I crazy.
Unfortunately, I think Detroit's going to come up short today. Packers, they've been winning, the last couple, weeks and stuff like that. But they're playing at home. Cold atmosphere. Detroit's playing and used to playing inside. I feel like Detroit's going to come up short today, and I think Green Bay is going to win. I say by 10.
Okay, next.
I hope that don't happen.
Dan?
I'm hoping the Lions win, but Goff doesn't play good in the cold weather. We know that back in 2018 when he faced us at Soldier Field in December, we beat him.
And it's prime time.
Right. Hate to say it, but probably the Packers are going to win it. Hoping not, but, be nice to see see the Lions and their Packers get eliminated. But
yeah, we're going with Jermaine. I mean,
right.
No,
I agree with you, Dan. Like, I mean, you got Rodgers. Anything can happen, but they've been ruling the fucking division since the Favre days. I personally want to see somebody new. The Lions really haven't had that luxury, so I want to see them as a fan base. See how they feel on actually a winning season. But the question is if they can actually squeeze in the playoffs, are they still going to be one and done, the same old Lions, or are they going to do something?
right.
PJ?
Man, every time I go and get that goddamn Aaron Rodgers, he pulls something out every single time, man. So even though I want the Lions to win this game, man, you just can't go against Aaron Rodgers, man, at the end of the day. So, I mean, I Green Bay is going to pull it out. I don't think it's going to be a blowout game. I think it's going to be close. The only way I could see Green Bay losing this game is if Aaron Rodgers gets about 3 or 4 interceptions in this game. That's it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and for anybody watching that's looking for the Bears game, you have to go to NFL Hard Knocks to watch it from here on out. That's the only way I will be playing the game live is in NFL Hard Knocks. It's about kickoff almost time, fellas. I appreciate you joining the show. We will be back next week for our final show.
Carlos Santos.
everybody.
That's all I have to say.
True, but do your math real quick, Woody. How is that going to happen with a last-second field goal when it's 28? Just saying. We'll just
it's 27.
He was able to read the defense. He was able to call that little small audible.
His throwing is much improved over the season.
I'm over here in the south side of Chicago, 35th and Damon, doing my veterans tailgate today, baby. This is all about the veterans.
Defensive line's got to get better.
We got a good tight end. That's all you got to do is play to the kid's strength.
Bears 24-21.
Offense looked good.
Glad for everybody to